Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. You know what? We are here. My name is Shannon Stott, and we are here doing some amazing things at Improv on and off the stage. And we've got an amazing intro for you. And we want to try and figure that out and make sure that it comes up. And right after that, I'm going to come right back and we are going to get right into collaboration and all the things that collaboration brings. Here we go. Welcome back, Journeyers. As always, it is our honor to be part of your improv journey. We are exploring the themes that show up in your life, from bravery to community, relationships to your inner self. We are using improv to help you connect to yourself and others. The journey guides for this evening are here to help you connect. Feel free to participate at any level that is comfortable for you. Our journey guides may ask you for a suggestion, a comment, or a reflection. Please put those in the chat. As our scientist explores the theme, let us know how it shows up in your life. Participate with us during our drama therapist session. As always, as our special guest, we have a journeyer just like you, a non-improviser who will need your support, your cheers, your laughter, and reflection. Welcome back, Journeyer. You've grown. Welcome back, Journeyers. I am so excited to have you. We are doing so many things together. You are here because through your journey, you have gotten to a spot where you're looking around and thinking to yourself, well, what do I do? What do I do now? What do I do with this information? Or how do I move forward with the things that I know? And we're going to just dig in. We're going to dig into some really fun things for your improv journey and your life journey at that. Tonight, specifically, this evening, this morning, today, now, we are talking about collaboration. And collaboration is showing up for me in so many different ways. And I know it's showing up for you in a million ways. So tell us all how it's showing up for you. But before I just chat away by myself in or rather about collaboration, I want to bring up my other journey guide to talk about it and to have a conversation. So let's see if I can find Aaron Signs. Aaron Signs, are you out there? I know you
Somewhere.
are.
There I am. Oh, hey, Shannon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm in not Austin, Texas. I am in Miami, Florida, doing actually workshops on collaboration, teaching workshops on collaboration. And it's been really fun because one, my brain is primed and pumped. And then two, I really got to see other people at work, like other people doing collaborating in different ways. We were talking to lawyers and whatnot, and I was helping them through how to work together. So it has like really set into my brain what that's all about. What about you?
Nice. Oh, well, we're collaborating now, which is awesome. It's always good to be at multiple levels in the meta. Uh, I was just thinking, wait, are you asking me how I'm doing or how I'm collaborating?
Both.
Both. The same. So I was just realizing that this is the first time you and I have not been in the same city when we have done this show. I
That's
think that's
right.
correct.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that made me think about how I have a day job. I am in software, and I don't work with anyone who lives in my state. I barely work with people who live in my country, and it is amazing how much collaboration happens just the way that we're interacting right now. And this is true actually before the pandemic because it was a kind of a remote company, but now definitely after the pandemic, even more so. And it has changed how I work with people.
Mhm.
Collaboration, I think, is a lot about the environment you're in and the situation you're in. And that's part of what makes it both a challenge and a joy is that you are not just matching the people you're with, but also the purpose and what's happening around you and everything. It's holistic.
Yeah, I'm talking about Emily Arnold, our scientist, and I
Mhm.
have been talking all month about that particular thing, specifically uh, the environment that is necessary to build for collaboration. And it's interesting that you bring that up, only because it feels sometimes like, oh, it's all within me, like I have to be a certain t- leader, or I have to be a certain type of listener, or I have to I in order for collaboration to happen. How do I have to put myself aside in order to like listen to what's going on? But really what I'm hearing from you is and I'm wondering actually
Mhm.
how being at home and having people from other countries, that is in other environments mentally and physically, influence how you have to speak to them in order to get something done.
Oh, all of the key point is all different times. I'm getting up in my morning and being groggy, and I'm running into people who are in the middle of their day, who are at the end of their day, or in some cases are staying up till midnight in Singapore to like so that
Mm,
we can possibly be on the phone at the same time. And I think that's what makes me think about collaboration so much in terms of situation. It's because you don't really know when you walk into a conversation where you are meeting someone, where they're at emotionally, or sometimes in this case physically, like where, like, and so the very first part of I think any collaboration is just what you do with me every time, which is touch base. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Where are we at today? Because once you
yeah.
have that origin point, you can find all the different destinations you want to go, all the places you want to journey.
Yeah. There is that about work, and then the exact same thing about any other relationship we have,
Yeah.
right? Like our friendships, yes, and then also our partnerships, that idea of like, okay, the touching
Mhm.
base, how are you? And it doesn't matter what we're trying to create together, whether that's create a household or create a journey, whatever it is that we're creating, touching base and trying to see how what the environment is around us really helps with that.
Yeah.
So yes, I what do you think? What do you think? Because you and I could keep doing this, but I am
I
wondering
know.
about, yeah.
Well, because I just brings to mind that Emily has been doing this show remotely almost exclusively the whole time. She has a different perspective, as well as
That's
being our brilliant, Emily person.
Yeah, Emily, come tell us about uh that part of being remote and what that does. And hi, Emily, we love you.
Hey, y'all. I'm glad to join the circles. Yeah, so I do, y'all. I'm the only non-Austener on our main team. And so every show except for last month's live in-person show I've been doing completely virtually. Um, and what's unique about our team and what has actually made that a lot easier than I would have thought is how well we really appreciate each other and listen to each other and get excited about each other. And so I've, kind of felt at home within this team even before I got to hug you for the first time a month ago. So
They were good
it's
hugs too. Quality.
You're a
Well
good
earned.
yeah,
hugger.
we exchanged lots of quality hugs and quality tacos, and it's like it's like I've been with you all along.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
Whenever
that.
someone eats a taco, they are in Austin. It's just physics. It's the way that
Yeah,
works.
yeah. That's
Mhm.
I went to Taco Bell the other day. Not quite the same.
No, it's not. It's not. If you're eating a taco journeyer, you're not only on the right path, but you're also in Austin.
Well, do y'all want to learn about y'all want to talk more about collaboration in like
Yes.
Yes,
a sciencey way?
Yes, I would love that.
yes. Please.
Let's do it. All right, it's time for the TED Talk portion of the improv show. So we're going to talk. And hey, this new format, welcome everyone to the new format where everyone gets to hang out with me while I do the slideshow. So you already saw your journey guides, but also we have Luke down there and our special journeyer today, Rachel Reynolds, is down there. Everyone say hi in their circles. What a great time. We're talking about collaboration. Are you ready? Let's get to it. So, I wanted to start off by telling everyone that something that Shannon and I have said a lot during the live streams this month is that this is one of those things that, like, you hop in an Improv 101 class and they're like, we're going to teach you teamwork. Or any sort of applied improv thing is like, we're going to teach you teamwork. And so we kind of hear that word a lot, teamwork and kind of going hand in hand with collaboration, but we don't really dig into exactly what that means. And so my job as a behavior analyst and a behavioral scientist is to define kind of these bigger concepts. So here's a definition I'm putting forth for everyone today. Are you ready for it?
We're ready. We're ready. You can hear us.
You can talk to me now.
Hand it
So
over.
here's what I'm putting forth for us today. I'm defining collaboration as a process, an ongoing process of both giving and taking, or listening and doing. It's you hear, you like let it, you engage in it, and then you do the thing, and that it's in service of a shared purpose or objective. Are we all down with the definition for today?
Yes.
Good.
fantastic.
Yes.
Y'all are rock stars. And so that was kind of a big one. It's kind of a lengthy definition. And so I also want to point out that because it's a process, there are multiple steps in this process, right? Like it's a series of behaviors. It's not like one thing where we're like, we're collaborating now. And so here are some of the steps. I think one major step when we're talking about collaboration is acceptance. And I mean that in a couple different ways, right? I mean, accepting where everyone else is, what everyone else is, like the other people in your area, right? Knowing who you're working with, what their strengths are, what their limitations are, what everything about them, how their day is going, what their learning history is. We also need to accept the context that we're in, right? Because we don't just live in a bubble where everything's perfect all the time. Sometimes we have laggy internet streams, or we have storms that knock out our power, right? And so we have to accept that those are things that happen. And then we also have to accept our own limitations and our own strengths, and be aware of ourselves and what we can do, and maybe what we'll need help with. All right, that's thing number one. Everyone good with thing number one?
We're good.
It's so much more different when I see people down there. Thing number two I have is that we also need to have some flexibility. right? We need to be able to, approach things from different angles when things don't work. And we need to be able to pivot and try things that are new, try a thing, maybe it doesn't work, and then be like, okay, well, we can just go. In when we're really flexible with that, that reduces us needing to be grumpy at each other, because we're like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work. We can be flexible. Everyone cool with thing number two?
Thing number two, I'm
Number
cool.
two.
Yeah.
And then thing number three, because I believe in the rule of threes, is direction. What really, really drives collaboration, like I said before, is a shared purpose or objective. And so we need to make sure that we have clear direction that we're going, whether it's like a set of rules. And so, like, this show that we're doing right now, we all know the format and the outline of this show, right? So that we can all kind of fall in line. Or it can be a general purpose, a general kind of like guiding star for us to move towards, which again, we as this team, we're going on a journey to explore ourselves and others through improv, right? And so the things that we do are in service of those things, right? So everyone good? Everyone on board with thing number three?
Yes.
Oh.
Right?
Three.
Everyone good? Everyone on board with thing number three? But
Yes.
so there could be barriers. We started talking about that a little bit, right? That like there's so there could be barriers. We started talking about that a little bit, right? That like there's we can be like, yeah, we're ready to collaborate, but maybe other people be as ready to collaborate with us. And that could be maybe there is some inflexibility there. Maybe others might have a lack of direction, a lack of knowing where we're going. Maybe people might have a lack of awareness to themselves or others. And so these are things that we want to recognize so that we can help try to solve those problems. And we also talked a little bit on the live stream this month about when we're running into barriers with collaboration, focusing on like the problem at hand and not the people at hand, right?
Mhm.
And being flexible to focus on the problem and how can we fix that and attack it differently.
We
Everyone
talked about
good?
getting on the same side. I remember we talked
Yes.
about getting on the same side and yeah, making the problem the thing that we're both trying to like attack or get over, or whatever it is.
Yes, exactly. The metaphor that we used was if you task Shannon, Stott, and I to build a rocket, it's not necessarily a me and Shannon problem that we don't know. I'm not going to spend my entire time being like, "Wow, Shannon, you didn't get your rocket science degree," but we should find different ways together as a team
Right.
to work on that problem. And then finally, I want to talk about how we, as we're talking about how improv helps us bring this into the world, bring these skills that we're learning into the world. Humans who are improvisers out there who might already have some of these skills and who maybe are like, I know how to collaborate. Well, how do I get others to? So I have some suggestions for you, humans who want to help facilitate collaboration in others. And the first one is to model the behavior you want to see. Model it. So if you want other people to be flexible, show flexibility. Shannon, yes, I saw your hand.
Oh no, that was me modeling.
Thank you. And then I also believe, and by believe I mean know, that in order to strengthen behavior, you want to reward or reinforce that behavior. And so when you catch someone engaging flexibly or noticing something about themselves and collaborating in an effective and efficient way, we want to like make sure that we are all about that. High fives all the way around, that we're doing that right. And then if you are leading a group, then it's important to show people what direction we're going and to talk about it. Don't just assume they know, because people don't. We need to tell each other these things, right? And if you are part of a team, maybe sharing what your direction is and see if it aligns with everyone else's. And if it does, then good news. You can all get on the same direction. And that is the science part of the
Yeah.
collaboration episode.
Wait, this is me raising my hand. Can we go
Yes.
back to slide to thing number one? Just the it was like the yes, not flexible acceptance. Acceptance. I just connected with that one. That was the one I connected with because I think we forget the you said you were talking about acceptance and really recognizing what people bring to the table and championing that instead of trying to change the person or whatever, but really understanding what their abilities are so we can work and speak to those abilities. And I think that that really resonates with me, and I'm sure it resonates with other journeyers because in our relationships, our close relationships, it's always this thing like where I'm not trying to change my friend, partner, child. So how can I how what is it we're trying to accomplish together and how can I work to the abilities of my friend, partner, child?
Yes. That's
Yay.
perfect. That's
Acceptance.
beautiful.
I'm
I'm
learning.
so
I'm learning, scientist.
I'm so proud of you. Does anyone else have thoughts before we move on to the improv part of the improv show? Good. Well, guess what, everyone? It's time to move on to the improv part of the improv show. So you're going to see a scene with Shannon and Aaron, and they're going to do something. They're going to do some improvisation inspired by everything we just talked about. So take it away, friends.
Hey, Aaron. We're doing something new. We're collaborating right now. We
Yeah.
have people down here that we can see. We have hi, Luke. We have a screen. We've never been in this before, and I'm wondering how is it? How is it that you want to proceed? I would love to do an improv scene with you. Um,
Yeah.
do we want to do anything different? We're doing this right now in real time.
I know, I know. We're figuring things out on the fly. Some might say we're modeling collaboration. Mm.
Yeah, I think we're modeling collaboration as well. Uh, let's let's take that. Let's take one of those slides. Did any one of the slide? There was flexibility. There was acceptance. There
Mhm.
was something else. There was another one. What was it, Emily?
Direction.
There was
Direction.
this is the best. It was direction. Do any of those words like spark interest for you, Aaron?
Yeah, I would say flexibility.
Flexibility. Okay, so let's do a scene with the get or suggestion of flexibility.
Okay. What's up, Martha?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I was nervous and I thought I was going to tell you I was nervous, but then I thought no, that's just not going to help, you know?
Well, why not? I mean, I listen to your problems all the time. It's like half the reason we're friends, I think.
I know, but you're writing a big speech and I read it or you wrote it and I read it and it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever written. And
Oh.
I just feel that when you give that speech, oh, everyone's gonna love you and then
Mhm.
maybe, you know, I'm
What?
just nervous. I'm just
You're
nervous.
are you nervous my success will lead me to distance from you?
Gee, gosh, Eric, that was so on the nose. It was right on the nose, right?
I'm sorry,
Exactly,
Martha. The
exactly.
speech is about directness and problem solving, so I figured I might as well put it to good use.
I just, yes, okay, yes,
Good,
I
good.
am. I'm nervous. I'm
Well,
nervous that you're gonna get famous, and then when I make eggs Benedict, there's not gonna be anybody to eat it.
Well, I'll always eat your eggs Benedict, Martha. That's just plain good eating. That's not a thing nothing could impact that. We'll always have cooking. All right. We'll also always have the fact that we're neighbors and friends, and we've known each other for so long. Established connections. That's what it's all about. I mean, none of us know how much longer we have, especially those of us here. I mean, we could be passing any moment. John just poor John. But the rest of us are around and we're connecting, and that's the focus here, Martha. Martha,
Eric. Yeah.
oh, I was just gonna
Hmm.
say that I think your nervousness is valid, but I also kind of worry that it underplays how much you bring to our relationship. I mean, who else is gonna? I mean, that speech that you say is so good. It's only good after your notes. I mean, you
Well,
mark that thing up redder than I don't know than a coral snake in a sunburn pit. I mean, it was
it
red.
needed marking. It needed
Yeah,
marking. I tell you, when I walk into any place with you, there are at least 10 people. It doesn't matter what state we walk in to,
yeah,
to a Golden Corral or
yeah.
a Cheddar Bay Biscuit House. It doesn't matter where we go. Five
Mhm.
people at least from Kentucky to
Yeah,
Albuquerque.
yeah.
Somebody knows who you are, and that's just the beginning.
Well, Martha, I know you didn't start off being my neighbor thinking, well, goodness, this guy is someone I'm going to travel the country with and rise to fame with him. But you know what? Plans change. And being my friend now means you might be kind of famous too, Martha. You're in the
Oh,
speech.
no, no,
You're
no,
in the
no.
speech.
I'm the Gail
And if you
Tier
keep on
Oprah.
acting like this, you're going to be more in the speech. Every time you get a little nervous, I'm going to put more of you in there because you're just a great talking point as well as a great friend.
Thanks. Thanks, Eric. You know, you said something important. You said we don't know how much time we have,
Hmm.
and I appreciate that. You've taken a lot of time with me. We're doing a thing together, a friendship. Build this friendship feels like it feels like water, the ocean, and sand. They're always together, and even when the tide goes out, the stand still waits.
Yeah. And you know what? People think of ocean, they think and sand, they think those two, that's a party, you know? And I bet they'll think about that about us too.
This is
So,
why I rewrite your speeches. That didn't make any
it's
sense.
a beach party reference, Martha.
It's a
We'll
beach.
clean up in
Nobody likes
post. I don't
those.
know.
No,
Fine.
people get sand in their craw and their toes.
Don't talk about cross. Yeah. Martha,
Yeah, Eric.
is not a single person on this planet an old widower like me would rather be with than my good friend Martha. Fame or no fame, beach and sand are good metaphors or flood lines or not. It's nice to have somebody like you in my life.
All right, all right, all right. Making my eyes water. Let me make you a Benedict before you can't have any.
Oh boy!
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Shannon.
That was a great scene. I loved it.
Thank you. Oh, now I'm staring directly at Emily's head. Ooh, that's good.
Hello. Hello
Oh,
to me and your heads. That
Oh
was
my
beautiful. And
thanks.
look at our chat uh getting stoked about coral snakes in a sunburned pit. And I would love to go to a Cheddar Bay Biscuit house.
House.
Charlotte and I would both love to go sometime. So if you want to bring us,
You're more than welcome. Come,
that would be
come,
great.
Charlotte. Come to a Cheddar Bay Biscuit House.
So you all, that was excellent. So we like to take this time to talk about what in your scene really highlighted our theme. Um, and you specifically chose flexibility. And
yeah,
I think
because
we
of the
saw a lot.
accents, Emily. I wanted to talk
Ye-
about the flexibility in my accent and the way that it
Yes.
can just move to wherever it needs to go in the moment.
Yeah,
No,
I
but
think
seriously though, not to get
it's
not to
so good
be,
how purposeful that is, right?
but as a performer, part of the flexibility you have is that your character choice you choose to be somewhere, and then your scene partner chooses to be somewhere, and if there's a little bit of a disjoint, you get to kind of, you don't want to just, you can jump or you can kind of slowly get there, but you do need to kind of line up. And
Mhm.
I think there was a lot of that at the beginning of the scene to kind of figure out who we were and where we were going.
Mhm.
Exactly. And no one was like, this is what I thought from the beginning, and that's what we're doing, and I'm going to be completely inflexible about it. So that in that way, you formed something beautiful, and I
Mhm.
loved it. Uh,
Yeah.
hey, speaking of beautiful, you want to do therapy?
I do.
It is
Hey,
beautiful.
I'm going to trade circles with Luke.
Sounds good. Yay. I love Luke. I love you too, Emily.
Hello.
Hi, Luke.
Hey, Luke.
Luke, today was this moment was the first time when out of my mouth came, I love Luke. I was like, oh, like I love Lucy. And then I thought, no, that's not the same. And now we're here. You're caught up. You're caught up.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh man. Oh, but thanks. I love you guys too. It's great. Oh, um,
Did we do it? I
hello.
feel like we did. Hi. Yeah, we
Um,
this is a fun it's this is a fun part of our show. Our whole show is fun. The thing is that when we're talking to journeyers and they are thinking about, okay, well, we talked about what collaboration is or whatever the theme is, and today it happens to be collaboration. There is the part of what is collaboration. Great, we've told you the journeyer who is already doing these things, right? And now you're aware of it, and we've seen some of how it works on stage, and we get this really neat opportunity with you to put it into our bodies and our minds, and so that when we leave out of this part of our journey, we can see how collaboration is newly refreshed in our brains when we're doing, work, relationship stuff.
yeah. Oh yes, yes, I'm very very excited. I've got a really awesome exercise that deals
Ooh,
with collaboration, and it involves everybody. So it involves everybody on the chat.
four
So
circles.
yeah, if you would like to participate, if that's great, you are invited. If not, if you just want to watch, that's totally fine too. So yeah, um, and but yeah, lots of times with collaboration, like Emily had brought up in her slides before, and I know you and Shannon have talked a lot about like barriers that come up, and I want to take it a little bit further and kind of throw in some expectations. Like whenever we come into a group, we always have these kind of like hidden expectations, maybe not hidden, but like subconscious or conscious expectations, being like, okay, in this group, I want to feel comfortable. I want to, I'm excited to share in this group, depending on the group and how it's going. So I really want to try out one thing where we're going to create a group character, but we're going to do it in a kind of a step way. Um, but first off, I kind of want to like figure out the structure first. And I wanted to ask, like, basically, we're gonna do inner and outer thoughts, inner thoughts and outer actions. And so I was wondering, Aaron and Shannon, are you okay to play and to demonstrate?
Yes,
Sure.
I'm excited.
Okay, cool. So basically, I just need one person to be the outer actions and one person to be the inner thoughts of our main character.
What do you
Oh,
want, Aaron?
Oh, either, but I'll raise my hand for the first one.
okay.
Okay. The
For the
actions.
inner thoughts or
Inner
outer actions?
thoughts.
Inner thoughts. Okay, cool, great. Cool. And then Shannon will be outer actions. Yeah. So sweet.
Okay.
Yay. So yeah, of our main character, which is really cool. So and basically what I want to what I want to try is like um everyone think back to a time. It could have been 2 hours ago. It could have been a long time ago when you were entering a new space with a lot of people that you don't know. Say, for example, it's your first improv class, or it's a or you're maybe like you're coming back from quarantine, and you're coming back to the office for the first time in person with your group. um and yeah, and so I just kind of want to like just to kind of like get these thoughts and get these things going. Like I wanted to check in with everybody about like what are those feelings that come up for you. And for me, like say if I was going back to my first improv class, I'd be like, "God, I'm a little nervous." So yeah, so I'm kind of like clenching my hands a little bit. I'm reserved. I'm pulling back, but I'm still looking at everybody. So that kind of thing. Yeah, and so just wanted to ask that to everybody. Um, and let's see. Yeah, I was just looking at the chat. And but yeah, let's start off with just getting your thoughts, Shannon and Aaron. Like, say that you were coming to your first improv class, or thinking back to your first improv class. What are some feelings or some thoughts or movements that came up for you? Um,
A lot of like trying to look casual and cool, and but then like not like and like stepping forward, stepping back, stepping forward, stepping back, like not being able to like enter into the fray.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, and I think that like if I was picking, you said movements, it would look
yeah,
something like
yeah, yeah.
like how
Tiny
do
in the
I
corner.
how do
Yeah.
I make it so that yeah, almost mirroring Aaron, like people can come to me, I'll be sort of visible but not totally visible.
Okay, great. And I want to spread it out to Emily and Rachel. Well, I know Emily's done improv. Rachel, have you done improv before? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Just a little. I was curious, like, with like your first improv class, like, what were some feelings or movements that came up with that too?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
I
that
was
that whole self-conscious like idea of everybody's watching me, and what Aaron was saying about like I want to jump in, but you don't quite have the timing right. You don't quite know when the
Mhm,
right time is because you don't know these people yet, and so everything feels like an overreach.
mhm. Got it. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
also, I feel like I was a baby when I started improv. So I had that kind of like young 20s mentality too of being like, well, I'm scared. So that means I'm just going to be louder. And so I wound up kind of overdoing it sometimes and kind of making a fool of myself.
Cool. Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like we've got a good amount of ideas and thoughts to create our character and to start them off. I see also in the chat we have Braden saying I was super shy in my first improv class as well. A lot of sitting back and watching everyone else play. And Charlotte had said, I got so nervous in my first improv class. I was so scared. Kenzie said, I did a lot of questioning. I think a movement was like gathering the people closer together. Yeah. Like all the other people, especially the ones who were there without friends. Cool. So yeah. Okay, great. So let's start to imagine that we are creating a group character that is going to their first improv class, and um, uh, just let's have a name. Could we get a name for this character just so we can get a little bit of definition? Yeah, Rachel, do you want to name this character?
Bridget.
Bridget. Cool. Bridget. Great. Okay. So, yeah, we'll break it down into the structure. So, we have the inner thoughts of Bridget, which is Aaron, and the outer actions of Bridget, which is Shannon. And so, yeah, can we get just kind of like an inner thought, and then and we'll just go back and forth between Aaron and Shannon, starting with Aaron.
Okay. About to go in. Quick stain check. Any stains? Shirt, good. Pants, good. Anything? Okay. All good. Oh, whoa. It'll do. Just no armpits. No armpit stuff. Okay. I got this.
Nice. That's great. Yeah.
Keep going.
Movement.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay. I need to be limber. Let's get everything loose. Let's get I gotta get loose. Let's get loose. Okay. I shouldn't be doing this in the hallway. I should just go in the classroom. I should just go into the classroom. I should go in the classroom. I should do it. Okay, I can do it. Soon.
And yeah, one last thought and one last action.
You know, everybody in there is going to be your friend someday. Let's do this.
Cool. And mini scene finished. Awesome.
Oh, this is. I feel good. I should have this. Both. There it is.
Yes, there we go. Yes, yeah. So sweet. So what this does is sometimes we have expectations that align with other people. When we're creating this character, sometimes they were a little bit different. Like Aaron's actions were different than Shannon's when they were talking about their first improv experience. But there were a lot of people I see online that were like, oh yeah, I was nervous too. Yeah, I was scared too. And so like sometimes the expectations align, sometimes they don't whenever you come into a collaboration. And so but yeah, and also we're just kind of we're experiencing sometimes our actions don't fit our thoughts, sometimes they do, and so it's kind of hard to tell, like, oh, does this person actually feel nervous? It's kind of hard to tell. They're very still, or they're really running around everywhere. It doesn't seem like they're nervous. So yeah, so it just kind of depends. But let's see. I want to try one last thing, and then we'll carry on. I want to see. We're gonna flip it in terms of what is gonna what do we think like this person is expecting to make a lot of and be like or not expecting but wanting to make friends, and at the end we had that thought of like I want to make friends. I'm feeling nervous, but I want to make friends. So let's see what we can do to help fulfill those wants or those expectations. And it starts with, once again, with ourselves. So it'll be like, what would be like the thoughts that would help Bridget out to maintain wanting to be friends and relaxing, like, and then what are the actions that would go along with that to help relax and to create an invitation to be friends with someone else.
Everyone here is in the same boat. Everybody's here is a different Bridget. We're all Bridgets.
Awesome. That's good.
And you know what? We can help each other be better Bridgets. This is just basically a big group of people who want to be cool together, and I want to be cool together, so I fit in automatically. Everybody is Bridgets, and I am a Bridget.
Yeah. And what would be the best thing for Bridget to hear at this point?
I think they think I'm funny.
Yay! Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, so lots of times that like when we come into these situations, we have a lot of expectations of ourselves and of other people. And there are lots of different ways to work with it and play with it. But lots of times it comes back to like, okay, how am I going to approach this in the best way that's supportive of myself and respectful of other people and everything like that. So yeah. And yeah, there's lots of other things to explore, but I will pause for now. But yeah, let's give Aaron and Shannon a round of applause with a demonstration. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank you
you.
for being vulnerable.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you,
that's
thank
so
you.
good.
Totally.
There's a lot happening. Like, we're so happy to have you, Rachel. I'm like, this is good, Rachel. Rachel, yeah. Here, looking at, like, experiencing all of this, because as you're representing the journeyers, right? And with Luke, this is it's there's like, I mean, it's therapy, Luke. What you're doing, obviously, because you're a
Mhm.
therapist. So, but it
Yeah, yeah.
feels, it always is surprising how 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 in touch and in tune some of these exercises are, especially the last question you asked, like, what would Bridget want to hear? What would Bridget want to hear right now? And I'm taking that and that question, because it's something we can take that idea. What is it that so and so would want to hear in order to create an environment where they would want to collaborate? And now with that, I'm going to ask you, Rachel. One, hi, Rachel. How are
Hi,
you?
Shannon, everyone. It's so great to be here. This is so much fun.
This is so good. I'm wondering, can you give us a little bit of insight into what you do, and then, like, in there, sprinkle in the how you might use that particular phrase. Like, how would you use something like, what would that person need to hear in order to collaborate better? But start with what you do and who you are.
Yeah. So what I do is I am the operations manager for a program in our state. I'm here in Virginia, and we have a mental health access program that the short version is that we help primary care providers get mental health care for their patients by connecting them to specialists when they may not otherwise be able to do so. And so the really awesome thing about my job, and one of the things that I really resonate with in this conversation we're having today, is that I work with over 25 different people who I'm never in the same room or the same building or mostly like even in the same town with. And they're all helping to make this project happen. But I'm working with people who actually are employees of different hospitals and programs, and my job is to help everybody work together and know how to do their job better and to check in with them. And so that's really something that happens on a daily and weekly basis for me, is like really meeting people where they are and then figuring out like, how do we get to the next step? Or so many things that everybody was saying today about like checking in and doing those check-ins. And so when I'm meeting with people on my team, whether it's just one-on-one or in small groups, that is so many times where we're starting, because I didn't get to see that person walk into the office. I don't know what's been going on with their day. So I've really got to get the pulse of like where they are. We all have to figure out, is someone's kid sick? They had 15 calls today. It was all stressful. So there's so much of that to that role of collaboration, of like checking in and just taking the pulse and then flexing with that. Like, where do we go with it? So your kid was sick. So you had 15 calls. Like, how can we support you? How can we help make that possible? And it's so amazing because I feel so very connected to the people that I work with, that most of whom I've never been in the same room with. And that's a great feeling to have as a manager, and to feel connected in that way. But it's a lot of work sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do a lot of work for like, just so everyone in the world knows, this is one of my best humans. uh, on Earth. Um, we're close. So Rachel, why don't you talked a little bit about how like one of the things that you use is doing like a daily check-in. Um, can you talk about another like specific like thing that you do to facilitate collaboration within your teams that you work with?
Um, so I think, and let's see, what would be another really good thing besides check-ins? I think another big thing is making sure that everybody's on the same page with respect to like I'm really big on like visuals in communication. And so I think that a lot of times when I'm communicating, a lot of my communication, unfortunately, is over email. I don't get to talk to people. So I kind of think about like, what do they need to know and what are they going to pay attention to the most? So it may sound silly, but it's things like making something bold in an email or, highlighting it or, you know, drawing their attention because we're all distracted by so many things every day. And so honing in on like it's kind of going back to that scene, like what's the one thing you want Bridget to hear? Like what's the one thing I want my team to hear and take away from it? And so sometimes that's what it is. It's like thinking about like what do I want them to walk away with? Because I know they're going to forget like 90% of the things that we all say. I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. What you got,
Yeah.
Luke?
Yeah, well, I mean, lots of stuff. And I just like, I think it's really awesome that you make a dedicated time to do check-ins. Like, I just feel, that's just so important in and any work collaborative environment, really. Um, and But yeah, I was also kind of curious, like, I mean, like if somebody needed like a little bit of time, a little bit of space, like, but yet like they're, uh, a lot of miles away. What is like, checking in look like, like with that, like, is it more of like, hey, I need just an hour and then I can come back, or yeah, I was just curious how that looks.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the situation. I think I'm one of those kinds of people at work where it's like you do what you need to do, and I've worked with the people on my team long enough that they know that it's like you come to me when you need me. When you need to go, you go. I'm gonna circle back and check in with you later, and that may look different. I've learned that I need to kind of customize, like there's the one person I work with who really wants that like phone call. And then there's the other person who just wants to send me an email and process things. And so it's kind of learning everybody's, and again, that's hard to do. Like you're kind of having to bond with each other in these
Yeah.
remote ways. But I think it's quickly picking up on letting people know that the more they communicate with me or with the rest of the team about what they need and knowing that that's okay. I think it's also being open to making sure people know it's like that culture of being okay to make mistakes. Like people aren't afraid to do the wrong thing or people aren't afraid to ask for what they need. And I think that's really important in a collaborative environment. Like they need to be brave enough to, they need to know that they're not going to get like laughed at or scorned or anything. And I think that helps foster that openness.
Yeah. Oh, I love the fact that like it was all about like just kind of like room to make mistakes, or room, because that's also room for growth, and like and so it's just it's wonderful that you're facilitating that environment as well. So
Yeah, I gotta own
And
those mistakes too. Like I'm always like, oh well, I screwed that up, and I think being able to
yeah,
do that in the environment, like they can see,
yeah,
like Okay, I can screw up too because Rachel just did. So and own it.
Rachel, I want to talk to you forever, but this is an hour-long show. So instead, instead, I have to tell you that it's time for you to do some improv. It has been a hot minute, I think, since you performed.
It has been a while.
How long?
Yes.
It's been a hot minute. That's all right. And I don't think you did any virtual. So welcome to the 2020s where we do virtual improv.
It's a whole new world.
But I'm gonna send I'm gonna send you to Aaron and Shannon, and you're gonna close out our show with an excellent game by using all of your skills and your brilliance. It'll be like you haven't missed a beat. So
Okay.
go for it.
Okay.
Go forth. Yay, I like that. Go forth. You're here. Yay, you're doing it. Okay, so Rachel, Aaron and I were listening to you, and the theme a theme kept reoccurring, and so we're just gonna we created a game just for you. It's called Check In,
I love
and all we're gonna do, Aaron and I are gonna do. It's great. Aaron and I are gonna do a regular scene. We're gonna like just be doing a scene, and at any given time, you're just gonna say check in. And then Aaron and I will check in with each other as people, and we'll break character, check in as people, as Aaron and Shannon, and then we'll go back into the same scene. And again, you can say check in whenever and how many times you want.
And
Got
feel
it.
free
I
to
got it.
even say, oh, yeah, and feel free to say even things like check in on that particular thing. You want more, that sort of stuff, once you
Got
get
it.
going. Feel
Okay.
free.
I like that. I like that. I like that. All right, Aaron, you ready for a scene?
Are you ready, Shannon?
I am.
Okay.
I am finding my character. I'm using Luke's movement, thought processes, and therapy to find character. Oh,
Hmm.
you're awake. You're awake. You're
Yeah.
awake. You're awake.
Oh man. What time? Oh. Is it the full moon yet?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
it
cool.
is. You've been asleep for at least, a month, and I have been sitting by your bedside waiting for you to arise from your slumber. And I was just wondering, when it was going to happen, and it has. And I'm ready for this thing. I'm ready for this full moon ceremony.
Check
Great.
in.
Shannon, we're clearly doing something a little bit supernatural here. Are you good with that? Can we get a little wacky?
That's where I thought I was going, and I sort of regretted it, but then I thought I'm in good hands. I'll just let Aaron take care of it.
Okay. Very good. All right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Tonight's ceremony is going to be a pretty big deal, Minion 4. Do you know why?
What? Really?
Because, yeah, after a series of passings away, as we like to say, you're moving up to Minion number 1, which means you're this close to being initiated into the Brotherhood of Lycanthropy.
The brotherhood.
on that
This is
brotherhood.
all I've ever wanted. Listen, can I tell you?
I used a gendered term there, Shannon. Do you feel like we should maybe generalize this organization of lycanthropes?
It's funny, Aaron. It's funny that you said that, because I was like, man, do we say brotherhood anymore? Like, is it a thing that we say? And then I let it go. And then Rachel was like, check in. And I was just glad to be checking in. I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Arch. Maybe it's okay.
You
Yeah.
got it.
I
Okay.
got it.
All right. Okay.
Yes. The Free Organization of Lycanthropy.
You don't even know. You don't even know. I have been sitting here by your side, wiping your sweaty brow, cooling you when you were too hot.
Check in on
and
that body
just
sweat.
thinking, trying to mind meld.
When you talk about my body sweat on camera, first off, I feel a little bit seen because I'm a very sweaty body person, so that's important. But secondly, I don't know if that's getting the audience at home to think about the right things.
Well,
So I
Aaron,
mean, yeah,
I I feel I am sitting here in Miami and I am sweating. I'm using
okay,
the real life. It's coming out of my
hmm,
mouth, real life,
yes,
and my
yeah,
pores,
yeah,
real sweat. So
okay.
it came out.
We'll just keep it real, keep it more real. Let's get back
Keep
into
it.
this, and we're gonna even be more real. And I sweated while I slept. Oh goodness, Minion, that I'm glad you wiped that away. You know, I
Well,
don't
not in
want
a bad
anyone
way.
else.
These are the things that happen to a body. I mean, you're also producing oils and scents and
Oils,
all
since
sorts of. No, it's not.
I didn't become a half werewolf aberration, so that I would still deal with the petty days of my corporeal form.
You
Minion
have
four.
you have to understand the half werewolf. The werewolf part is the good part.
We don't say
That's
the
the
W word.
animalistic.
Minion
My
five.
apologies. My apologies. I hope using the W word doesn't tarnish my.
Well, not in front of me, but the rest of the free organization isn't so forward thinking, you know. They
I'm
still
sorry.
call this the
My
Man
apologies.
Club of Lycanthropy.
My
Checking on
apologies.
that
My
organization.
apologies. Apologies.
Yeah,
This
'cause I'm way off the deep end here. I have a whole backstory for this
Yeah,
organization
I
and
see.
the dumb stuff we've
Aaron,
been up to.
maybe it's time that we
Yeah.
take this particular game
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and close it out
Mm-hmm.
just for
Mm-hmm.
and leave it for another
Mm-hmm.
time when our minds are
Yes.
less overcome by werewolves. Or excuse me, my apologies. My
I
apologies.
cannot believe even it's not just your character. That's not Minion Four saying that. That was Shannon using the W word. So there's that.
It was me. It was
That's
me.
that.
Listen,
That.
Rachel. Yes, Rachel, you're amazing.
Thanks, y'all. That was so fun.
Oh, it-
I feel
you're
like that
great.
was
This
the
is
middle
good.
of a young
Okay.
adult novel or something.
Oh,
That
yes.
was very like YA. It was very YA.
Someone write it down. Call Stephanie Myers. Yep.
All right, friends. All right, journeyers and scientists and therapists and journey guides. This is why we are here. We are here so that your journey, you're watching and you are a journeyer. When you arrive here, you've already arisen, arrived with particular things that have happened to you and things that are going to happen to you. And to help you navigate those things, we use these improv nuggets and we show you through therapy, through science, and through your own journeyers, right? Through the people like Rachel who are doing these things in their day to day. I want to know, uh, Rachel, Luke, Emily, are there things that you want to leave our journeyers with this evening? Luke said,
Yes.
What
Yeah.
would it? Yeah, what would it be? What would it be?
Like there's a lot of different, when we just approach collaboration, we have a lot of different thoughts and different ideas, but lots of times, like we just found out tonight, that, like, I mean, there's a lot of ideas that are very congruent. They're very much like, oh yeah, I was thinking about that too, I didn't realize that. And so that kind of helps create a better cohesion, better collaboration that way.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I think we should learn from Rachel's example and pick a thing to do every day and be the collaborator you want to see in the world, and model it in that way.
Well done, well done. And for you, Rachel?
I love going back to that idea of acceptance. And the way I love the way Emily framed it around all of the different ways that we accept things, our circumstances, the people we're with, ourselves. That's so huge, and bringing that to every situation is really valuable.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank all our journeyers are saying thank you to the three of you. Thank you. Aaron and I are going to wave you off. Bye. Bye. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank
Circles.
you, Rachel. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Emily.
Thank
So
you.
good. So good. Holy cannoli. Aaron, wait.
Shannon.
I can probably even ask Luke. I bet he could hear me. But there was a word that we were talking when you and I did our therapy. We were talking about something. We're talking about uh, things can be not disjointed. There was another word. It'll come to me. If Luke, if you know what it is, yell it out.
Uh, I,
Just if
I,
you think
I
about
don't
it,
remember.
yeah,
Let
it's
me think
okay.
about it.
Look back in
Yeah.
your notes. But it's
Yeah.
important to me.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Okay.
What? Tell? Yeah. What? You, Aaron. What's
You,
going on with
Shannon.
you after
I
this?
I think that, on and off the stage, this whole thing we're doing together is about the ways that the skills we develop in improv and the skills we need in life are one and the same, and they feed into each other. And the more we talk about collaboration, the more that I heard that collaboration is basically interacting with other human beings all the time. That it's not just work and it's not play. It's families, it's friends, it's everything. If you're interacting with another human being, you are effectively collaborating with them, or maybe you should be. And I'm going to take that with me for the rest of, for as long as I can hold that in my mind, because it is such a beautiful space to be in, to see the world as people that you are actively collaborating with all the time. And that's thank you to everyone who is with us today to bring me to that mental space, because it's great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron, for being an
Thank you.
amazing journey guide this evening.
Thank you for taking me on this journey, Shannon.
Hey, we're always on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know it.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Bye, Aaron, for now.
Bye, Shannon.
And friends, journeyers, you are on a journey. This is just a stop. And the thing that brings you here, the reason why you have found yourself here is because you've been searching for something. You've been searching, you've understood something about your life, and you are wondering how can you enhance? How can you use improv to help you connect to yourself and others. And I hope that we have helped. You have definitely already connected with us. I hope we have connected with you. And we will see you again right here on Improv On and Off the show. For now, this is your journey guide, Shannon Stott, signing off.